Hey y'all, it's Danielle from Black Business Boom, and I am live this evening with a very special announcement. I'm really excited to have a super dynamic group of Black leaders, Black business leaders in our city joining me tonight. And I'm here because I want to announce to you all the launch of the Young, Gifted, and Black PAC, or the YG PAC for short. This is an initiative that's the brainchild of this dynamic group of African American business leaders from Nashville, including myself. I am excited to bring everyone here tonight to introduce you to the group, but also to tell you more about our mission, which is to foster economic empowerment and political engagement for Nashville's Black families. We really firmly believe in the power of policy and understand that to shape the future, especially the future of Black Nashville, we have to be active in the decision-making process. We need a seat at the table. And so this group has come together from all different backgrounds, all different levels of experiences, all different cities around the country, landed here in Nashville and decided that we were going to come together and set a goal to enhance our community through civic engagement, through intergenerational leadership, and come together to build collective Black wealth in Nashville. So I am excited to introduce you all to the YGB PAC this evening. We're going to be having a candid conversation this evening about why we feel like this is even needed in Nashville and how we're going to come together and leverage our power as the Black community to make some moves in Nashville. So welcome, 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 everyone. I am excited to have you all this evening.
Let's
Hey,
go.
Tequila, yeah. I mean, this is a for real
Go.
dynamic group, and we missing a few folks. So y'all gonna really be like,
Come
y'all
on.
been brought all the power in the room for this pack, but when you got big goals, you got to bring the big guns. So that
Come
is
on.
exactly what we are doing. And so again, I'm gonna kick it off. I'm gonna tell you, other than the folks that you see on your screen this evening, Tequila Johnson and Josh Mundy, Quan Clark from Pivot Tech. We got Contricia Tharp from Favon Creative. Also, we got Big Fridge with us this evening, who's a community leader. Dr. G, who couldn't join us this evening, but he's the founder of Everybody versus Racism, as well as Carlos Partee, co-founder of Nashville Black Market, and Robert Higgins, who is an entertainment executive and restaurateur here in Nashville as well. So again, a very dynamic group of Black folks that have come together to leverage our power for the collective Black Nashville community. So I got a few questions for y'all. And so we're going to go ahead and jump on in this evening. And if you have questions, if you're tuned in and you have questions, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. All right, Tequila, I'm coming to you first. This is a really big initiative we've set out on. And there is some emphasis on civic participation in this PAC's objectives. We got the runoff election coming up for the Nashville mayor as well as Metro Council seats. What does the YGB PAC have immediate goals for this election coming up in less than 2 weeks, and any plans to influence the outcome of this upcoming election? Oh, you're on mute. There you
Hey
go.
Danielle, hey y'all. Yes, absolutely. I always say this, everything about us, especially as Black people, especially as entrepreneurs and Black wealth and business owners, is tied to a policy. And so everybody knows that the mayor is essentially the CEO of the city. They control whatever development opportunities come to the city. They manage the police. They manage all of our subsidiaries. We know that the city council also is responsible for all of the boards and commissions that govern the city. And so it's important as the Young Business PAC that we keep a emphasis on civic engagement, because if we're not influencing people who are going to be making decisions on our behalf, how can we have any influence when it comes to building Black wealth? Of course, we want to build independent wealth, but we also want to make sure that we show our power when it comes to civic engagement. And we're doing that this Saturday. If you are around, pull up on us at the polls. YGB is going to be in the building. We're all going to go and vote as a PAC together. There's going to be a lot going on. And this Saturday is the last day of early vote. So we need whoever the mayor is to know that they are accountable to Black Nashville, because we voted to put them in office. So everybody show up to the polls.
Absolutely. I love it. You're going to keep hearing that this evening, by the way. I may as well warn you all. We want you to vote. We have power, and we have to leverage that power in this upcoming election. And so that you will hear that theme throughout this conversation. And so next, I'm coming over to you, Moncherie. With the growing emphasis on supporting Black-owned businesses, we're hearing it all over, especially over the last 3 years. How will the PAC work to raise awareness about the importance and benefits of patronizing Black-owned businesses here in Nashville?
Thank you. I think number one, I think Nashville has already done a great job of making sure that we support our Black businesses. But I think there's an opportunity now for us to level that up, amplify more, make it a priority in the way we do things, and respect the history that comes with that. Nashville stands alone in many ways as a unicorn, as one of the locations that still has a Black Wall Street untouched in many ways, right? Jefferson Street sits as an icon to many other cities, as with 80 plus Black-owned businesses on one street. So we have this special moment, and then we have these great people that have come together. One of our goals is to make space for our entrepreneurs, create space for our entrepreneurs to gather, our business owners to gather, and really make sure that they understand like the opportunities that's in front of them. A lot of times we talk about information, separation, or the things that we don't know about. We're going to make sure you are informed about all of the opportunities at different levels. Now, we're not talking about giving away free money 24/7. We're talking about ways to get new money, way to diversify your funnels and diversify your channels of income in your business, but also putting your business on the, at the front door of Nashville. Most of our businesses, mom and pops, or even those who are e-commerce, are not at the front door of Nashville. So when people come to visit, if it's through tourism or if it's just people moving here new, they don't think of us first. So we're going to first put ourselves first and put us at the front door and make sure we're amplifying at that level.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much, Moncherie. All right, Josh, I'm coming over to you next. We really have seen this kind of, even in the Black community, somewhat of a division of power. And we were very intentional about naming this PAC the Young, Gifted, and Black PAC. And we youngish, I guess but we are younger than many of the leaders that we see here in Nashville, even in the Black community. And so there is this need of bridging the gap between the intergenerational leadership in the Black community. How do you see the PAC being able to be that bridge?
Well, I envision the PAC to really set up, I would say, a new foundation. They say, and this may be a little controversial, but like Nashville is the gatekeeper capital of the world. Like people get in position and power and don't want to pass on that power. But we want to show like generations that, hey, we have a new crop of leaders that you can entrust that we're going to do the right things for our community. So it's important that we kind of create that relationship to show that, hey, we're out for the community. We're going to do the work, and that, we're going to look out for the people. We do not want a Mitch McConnell situation. Okay. Mitch McConnell is 90 years old, still trying to lead in government. We don't want that situation. Like, we want our elders to be able to pass the torch successfully for us. And then we're setting a new foundation. So for the people behind us, they can come and we can pass the torch to them. And it just creates this chain effect where everybody is being impacted, where everybody is being successful, And the YGB PAC is going to be a catalyst to working and collaboration together. So
I love it. And that again, as you look at this pack, it's a diverse group. We come from different backgrounds. We have different experience in business, different experience in life. And so us just coming together, we really wanted to demonstrate the power and what happens when you bring together such a dynamic group. And so, Rob, I'm coming over to you to talk more about Black-owned businesses. Rob is one of the most successful Black business owners here in the city. And so, and I think we need to celebrate that and support all the things he does. But on another note, we can really influence the growth and success of Black-owned businesses here in Nashville, especially as a collective group with the influence that we have. Rob, can you tell us, what role do you see us playing in furthering the growth and success of Black-owned businesses in Nashville?
So as far as Black-owned businesses in Nashville, I feel as if me being a part of the Black-owned business community here, I think that it lacks the resources and platforms to truly grow, the opportunities to truly grow on the level that they need to grow on to be able to do some of the things that we see others do in their business. I feel like if Nashville, if Nashville had the platform to push a Black business and all these Black business owners the way that other businesses are produced, and they would have, the rooftop bars that people ask for and the restaurants on the bottom of hotels and condominiums and such and whatnot. I think that we're given a loaf of bread and asked to feed 5,000 people. And although Jesus did it, I don't think none of us can walk on water. And that's the biggest thing in Nashville. We're not, Bishop Walker said it's water walkers out here, but honestly, we're not water walkers. And to say that we do a lot with a little. And I've lived in many cities, and I think that Nashville has the least amount of Black businesses around the city and than any other city that I've ever been to. We can't go nowhere where we know that there's a Black community, and we talking about in the hoodest of the hoodest spots. You can't go in the hoodest of the hoods of Nashville and find a community of Black businesses, from grocery stores to, because the real estate does not exist for us anymore. It doesn't exist. So I think that us coming together, we can raise awareness that Black businesses need their fair share. They need their fair shot. I think we need the resources, the push, from all these platforms that are supposed to be, from magazines to newspapers. I know Black businesses that open every week, bi-monthly, whatever. They never really feature Black businesses in any publications, besides Black publications. It's like all the publications that feature Black people are for Black businesses and are owned by Blacks. But when you look at some of the biggest publications, they know everything that's happening in the white community. They know everything that every time they drop a fork on the ground, they know about it. But when it comes to you telling me you don't know none of the positive things that happen into the Black community, except when it's negative, that's when we hear from them. That's when we see them. And it's like, as much as that, those little things can make a big difference, from tourism, pushing out the tourism pieces. If we had more tourism and people would look at Nashville as more than, boots and bachelorettes, then, we could benefit from that, but we can't, because most people that wear cowboy boots and and say yeehaw don't really want to come where we don't really support what we have going on. So it's like, it's just all these pigeonholes they put us in and then tell us to go succeed. All right, now you go be a multi-million-dollar business. Well, how can I when you don't give me the right tools? You're not gonna send as great as a basketball player Michael Jordan is, he can't win with a football in his hand. You got to at least give them a basketball. And I think that they giving us footballs and asking us to go shoot a 3-pointer. And it's just time for that to stop.
I love it. I love that analogy. Wonderful. All right. Fantastic. This is a great conversation. Patricia, I'm coming to you next. How do you see the role of Black-owned businesses in the PAC in shaping and diversifying Nashville's tourism landscape and ensuring that it's reflective of the city's culture and heritage and inclusive for all visitors? In short, we see a lot of tourism coming here to Nashville, but are they going on Jefferson Street? Are they ensuring that Black-owned businesses are being included in the tourism that's coming to Nashville and benefiting from those tourist dollars? And how can we make a difference in that?
I think that it's mostly important about the amplification of Black voices, and that's something that we really haven't seen in Nashville. Although, of course, those who have been in Nashville for years or who are Nashville natives kind of understand how diverse the city is. While we are diverse, though, we are not as inclusive as we should be. And so I think that we are now at a place, and why I'm super excited to be a part of a PAC like this and a group of people who really, really care about amplifying Black voices, is that it's just time for it to be heard. We, like Black Rob said, we see Nashville and the popularity of the city, more so for Broadway, but there's so much more rich history in Nashville that has been neglected. And we have things like Nay Ma'am, who has really started the conversation about Black culture and Black experience and Black history in Nashville. And so I think it's just time for us to be able to have a voice and have a presence in conversations and at tables and things like that. And that's what this group does. I think that also how diverse we are is something that we're pushing for everybody to see. And so it's just about taking that and leveraging that completely. And it's so many different things. I'm not in tourism. I don't deal in that aspect of it. But I think that it is just about amplifying Black voices and making sure that they have a presence at the table, making sure that they have a place and a stage for their voices to be heard, because for so long we haven't. And we're at this place now where Josh kind of said, we're transitioning with the leadership, we're transitioning with generations. And so we're at this point where, the babies that are coming behind us are loud and proud. And so I think that it's we're a bridge and a liaison between those who kind of started the fight and knew what needed to be done. And then it was us that kind of carried the torch into now. And so now it's time for us to kind of build up that next generation and make sure that we have presences.
I love it. Thank you so much for that, Contricia. Fridge, I'm coming to you next. Long term, we're thinking, down the road, 5-10 years, we've had this PAC, we've welcomed other members, we've made impact in the community. What does that look like? So looking down the road, what is the long-term impact that you hope that this PAC will be able to make here in Nashville? Well, we lost Fridge. Well, jump on in, Josh. Tell us what.
Fridge saying that right now.
That's the long-term impact right there.
Yeah, Fridge say, man, I'm out. That ain't my question right there. But the long-term, I would really say that the long-term impact is that we left it better than where we got it. You've seen a transition of collaboration is really what you've seen, individuals that come from different backgrounds working together. We really don't see that. We see a lot of competition in our community, but we don't see enough collaboration. It's enough for all of us to strategically win. And if we work together, we'll get bigger bags. It's like we're 50 people fighting over the same kind of crumbs, and then we are fighting over $100,000 when we can come together and go after $100 million. So it's like we have to start thinking strategically enough to say we're better together. We're going to work together for the greater good of the individuals that are coming behind us.
I love it. Wonderful. I think we're all definitely that's the goal, and again, if we can make it 5% better, whatever we can do to build a better ecosystem, that's what we're here to do. couple more questions before we wrap up this evening. Quan, Pivot is doing such amazing things with workforce development, ensuring that the digital divide is bridged for those that are entering the workforce here in Nashville. And so I'm curious if you can speak to us a little bit about how Pivot is and how the PAC plans to address and bridge the gap in workforce development specifically for Black Nashvillians.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would just start off saying, like, despite what you would see, if you go on Instagram, everybody's a CEO or entrepreneur. But the reality is that most households are ran by people in the workforce. And I think, Nashville has a very big workforce, especially when you're talking about tech talent. Pivot's been around for 4 years, and we've seen thousands of people in tech, Black minorities that just don't have the opportunity. So one of the things that we're going to do with the PAC is make sure that organizations like Pivot and others that, are into the workforce development have a seat at the table and are working with these corporations that are coming into the city, because Nashville is growing and expanding, but Black people are continually being left out of that conversation. And a lot of it is just all around opportunities. And I think we have to work with people like the mayor, other organizations that can really put some pressure on, people that say they're about diversity, because as you know, when it's a big trending topic, we can get some traction. But whenever that topic kind of dies down, then people go shy away from really putting that impact in place. So we just want to really continue to collaborate with organizations that are really serious about making sure that we have equitable representation in technology, construction, administration, healthcare, all industries alike. So I think, one of the things we'll do with the PAC is keep pushing that forward.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Quan. All right, I'm coming back to you, Contricia. So as a Black business leader, how do you see the role of mentorship and community building and ensuring the long-term success of Black-owned businesses in Nashville?
I think that there are so many barriers and obstacles that Black businesses face. And mentorship is kind of that piece that, while everybody talks about it and it's a trend, it also eliminates that it shortens that learning curve where you're able to learn from someone who has experienced those same obstacles, those same barriers, and have overcome them. It establishes also a connection and a trust. And that's something that we typically don't see in the Black community, especially amongst other Black business owners. And so those are the type of connections, that community building, where then we're able to establish long-lasting businesses because they have the resources and the skill and the knowledge, right? A lot of times where we see Black businesses not succeed is not because they don't have the skill, they don't have the passion, they don't have the desire, they just didn't have access to the resources. They didn't have understanding of certain pitfalls or obstacles or barriers or hardships. And so being able to shorten that learning curve while also using that to establish and build successful businesses that then create this collaboration and this trust and like this ecosystem that we've been talking about tonight of Black businesses that, you can go to for your groceries, you can go to for your taxes, you can go to for your gas station and things like that. It's just building this ecosystem based off of trust, collaboration, and connections that I think will be an amazing, amazing opportunity if we just take part in mentorship and community building.
I love it. Thank you so much, Contricia. I'm coming right back to you, Moncherie, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up this evening. And so one thing, you have been, a pillar in our community around the cultural economy and the amplification of not only Black-owned businesses, but Black culture. And we talked a little bit about how that plays a part in tourism. But it just, it's a huge opportunity for us. So can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Definitely. A lot of our existence is based on our talent, and our talent has fueled many things in America. So much so that America is celebrating in 2026, 250 years of the history of what has happened. And they're making sure that Black America's story is told by Black Americans. So if the government is understanding that this last 250 years at minimum was important to their success, not just infrastructurally, but this culturally, the way we exist today, and Black people having so much of an impact on that, then it definitely makes sense here in Nashville. And we can go on and on about the histories in Nashville. I arrived here almost 11 years ago and found out that the first sit-ins, civil rights sit-ins, happened in Nashville. All of these great things that are not just historic, but that are need to be preserved, not just for cultural history for Nashvillians, but for America, right? So we sit on all of these great things. We have all these great institutions, but then we put on historic events every week in Nashville, but it's not amplified beyond Broadway, right? We're not in those news stories. And as Rob said, most of our stories are told by our people. So there's a need for us to build our, to get the respect on our name, one, for the cultural economy that we are actually adding to, but two, to preserve and amplify more collectively. Shout out to the Equity Alliance. They did some great work post-COVID, when we were trying to do the citywide Juneteenth celebrations with all of the planners who had already been doing Juneteenth great stuff prior to it was being popular. But those are the type of things that we have to start building up. NAMAM has its center and it's becoming a cultural center. But you got to put your respect on Bardo and the Bardo Library and its cultural center. And then you look at the restaurateurs, and Rob is opening another restaurant soon. And thinking about all of that is a part of our culture economy. So anywhere we put in money, yes, we go to work every day. Yes, we all getting checks from our jobs. But at the same time, those who are creating our atmosphere, our ecosystem, how we dwell, how we party, how we experience each other, how we show our talents, that is money, right? And guess what? Nashville eats off of that, $4.4 billion in COVID-19 off of tourism dollars. So guess what? We're the talent. They love coming to Jefferson Street. They love touring the Fifth Jubilee. And there's a plethora of other things that I'm pretty sure our talent in the city could put on Front Street, as we call it. So that's what a cultural economy is. We need to start looking. When you sell those barbecue wings on that food truck, make sure you're not just selling to us. We appreciate you coming to all of our festivals. But guess what? They got festivals downtown that you need to start signing up for and putting your business out there, because when you do that as a Black business, you help us to amplify what we have here as Black culture, and vice versa. So all of our key events that we've been creating for years, I'm thinking about the Black Film Festival. They're on their 35th year here. Super. I mean, it's a mother and two daughters been doing that for a minute. We need to shout them out, support, show up, share. One of the main things is making sure that we show up. And that's how we really put the dollars and cents. And guess what? Invite other friends. They don't have to be Black. We want them to see it too. So shout out to African Street Festival happening next weekend. John Merritt Classic happening next weekend. That's all cultural economy. And guess what? All the people who putting themselves in hotels, that's our money that we put in there. We showing up. All those eating out at restaurants, that's our money. That's our putting our money into the taxes that pay for this whole tourism industry. So if we're adding to it on the regular, like we always do, then we need to reap from it. And so if you're a business owner, I want you to be a part of this. Come to us. We're going to start showing you how to make money on tourism dollars here at YGB. We're going to show you how to be on the Front Street and be the welcome mat to Nashville. So let's do that.
I love it. That was beautiful, Moncherie. That was beautiful. Well said. All right. So this is really about the community, and that's what has driven us to come together, because we know that with our collective influence, we can really truly make an impact, a positive impact on the Black Nashville community. And so, Josh, we want to make sure that we're being inclusive of the community. How can members of the community that are tuned in tonight, whether they're entrepreneurs or not, get involved and support the initiatives of the YGB PAC?
The first thing that you can do right away to be a part of the YGB PAC is to vote in this election. Moncherie said it best. We have a lot of things going on in the city, but you have to show up. And voting is one of the things that you have to show up. So that's one way that you can participate. We'll be all mobbing to the polls on the very last day of early voting this Saturday at Bordeaux Library. We'll have food, we'll have a DJ and all those great things. So you can show up and be a part of mobbing to the polls. And then you can go to the YGBPAC.org, YGBPAC.org, and take a pledge, as well as leave your information so you can stay in tune to what we have going on. If you're an entrepreneur, there will be membership opportunities for you to join. If you're not an entrepreneur, you can definitely get involved in some of the initiatives that we have going on with the YGB PAC. So the first and foremost thing you need to do is vote. Secondly, go to YGBPAC.org, leave your information, and stay tuned to what we have going on. Also, follow our Instagram page as well. It's YGB PAC on Instagram, and I think Danielle is going to set up our Facebook.
Yeah.
When we get off.
Look out for it. Let's go. All right, this was great. I'm going to ask Tequila to close us out this evening with any final thoughts, comments, call to actions, anything that you want to make sure the community follows up with after this opportunity.
I mean, it's not much more that I can say that has not already been said. That's the beauty about being in a coalition, in a community with so many dynamic people, is that you don't have to say
Tequila
much.
always got
You don't
something
have
to
to do
say.
much.
So I can't believe Tequila is speechless now.
You know, when we come together, I feel like that's less that I have to say, because the things that I thought I needed to say, Moncherie said, and Josh followed up. I guess my closing thing would be, one, Josh said it, go to the polls, make sure you vote. If you're not voting in this mayoral election, then it's really hard for me to really say how you can get in the game, because that is our one easy way that doesn't take much that we can do to get in the game. And going to our website. Oh, okay, somebody's phone was ringing. Threw me off a little bit. And then, you know, I think about, oftentimes Nashville, a lot of Black people are moving to Nashville, and they're moving here for business and entrepreneurial opportunities. They're moving here because they're getting these new jobs. They're moving here because they want to be a part of the cultural economy. They're moving here for all these things. And so the YGB PAC was formed to bring these people, because people always say, well, how do I get involved? Nashville seems very cliquish. It seems very elitist. The YGB PAC is a group of people who have influence, saying, we want to open the gates. We want to put a membership in place where people who want to be part of growing, getting to this bag, learning what's happening in the city, have a home. So go to our website, take the pledge first, vote, and then sign up to be on our email list.
I love it. That was perfect. All right. This has been a truly dynamic conversation this evening. I thank you all so much for joining us. Again, we are here for the community. We want to make a positive impact. We want to break down those barriers. We want to get y'all these contracts. You know, like, that is what we're here to do. But it all starts with us having a seat at the table and getting the right person in office so that we get that seat at the table. And so there's so much work that we're doing behind the scenes to make sure that that happens for Black Nashville. And so we invite you to join us again by visiting YGBPAC.org and taking the pledge and signing up for to get more information about the work that we're doing. So go do that right now. I'll drop the link in the chat. I'll update the caption to include it in case anybody missed it. And we will see you all on Saturday at the Bordeaux Library. We are showing up and we are voting together. And so we are extending that invite to Black Nashville to show up and vote on Saturday, the last day of early voting here in Nashville. And if you missed that, we'll see you on Election Day. If you need help with identifying where you vote, how you vote, who you should vote for, whatever, go to the website, send us a message, DM us, do whatever you got to do. But again, we want to make sure that we are removing all barriers for Black Nashvillians having a voice. Again, thank you all so much for joining us. There's more to come from the YGB PAC. Thank y'all so much. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. We had a lot of folks here live with us tonight. I'm excited to see that. One of my largest lives ever. So thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in and staying with us for 35 minutes. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, everybody. And we'll see you this Saturday.